Have you ever asked yourself, how did I get here? Well, today I'm going to tell you how I got here, what I'm doing about it, and how this channel can help both me and you. I'm Ron, and this is my fitness journey. Hi, and welcome to Ron's Fitness Journey. If you struggle with weight loss, healthy lifestyle decisions, and general fitness, then let's help one another. Subscribe down below and click the little bell icon, and let's take the journey together. Well, if you've ever asked yourself the question, how did I get here? Then today I want to talk about that question for myself. I'm in a position now where I really have to do something about my weight, about my general fitness, about my health. I'm 50 years old, and I have allowed myself to get to a place where my weight and my fitness is starting to really impact my health. Let me tell you a little bit about my background and how I got here. I grew up not an athletic kind of a kid. The only athletic thing I ever did in school was ran junior varsity track for a couple of years. I was a long distance runner, but I wasn't particularly competitive. I wasn't particularly good. After high school, I went away to college, and I was still in fair shape and not particularly overweight. And I stayed active the first couple of years in college, but then as I got more and more involved in academics and in studies, I got more and more involved in a sedentary type of lifestyle, but I continued eating the same way that I had as I was growing up and whenever I was just more active naturally as a teenager. From college, I went on to graduate school and then into a professional type of job where I do a lot of office work. I sit a lot through the course of the day. I'm just not particularly active. Also, I've never had a great exercise program as an adult. I've never really developed something that long-term could burn those extra calories, and I just continued eating as I always had. Over the course of the last 30 years, I've managed to gain 2 or 3 pounds a year. Now, in 1 year, looking at the scale and realizing, hey, I gained 2 or 3 pounds, isn't particularly alarming, but when you add 3 pounds a year over the course of 30 years, you suddenly realize you are in a very serious situation. Now I'm 50 years old, and I'm in a position where I have to lose weight because of the health conditions that I have. I have had high cholesterol for a number of years. I was diagnosed about 6 years ago as being diabetic. I'm borderline hypertensive, high blood pressure, and it's just time for me to do something about these things, or ultimately I'm going to die young with them. Now, I have made a couple of real attempts to lose weight and get a handle on this. When I was about 40, about 10 years ago, I got on a pretty popular, pretty famous, pretty well-known diet plan, and actually lost about 40 pounds at that time. The problem was I viewed the diet as just that, not a lifestyle change that I would make permanent, but I viewed it as a diet that I would get on to lose weight and then ultimately would get off of. That was my problem. I did really well as long as I was sticking to the program, but once I started to fall apart and got off of it, I gained the weight back fairly quickly. Then about 5 years ago, I made another attempt, made some really serious changes to my diet because I had been diagnosed as being diabetic, and so I was cutting carbs and trying to eat healthier. I also went back to the only exercise program I ever knew, and that was running. And I had some great success for about 18 months. I went from being completely sedentary to running about 16 to 18 miles every week. I was running 5K races. I was training for a 10K. I had lost about 50 pounds at that point, and I was looking better. I was feeling the best I had felt in years. It was an exciting place to be. But then, because of some crises in life and just a number of circumstances, I let things begin to fall apart. My running started to fall off until instead of running 4 days a week, I was running 3 and then 2 and then once in a while and then ultimately not at all. And because of stress in my life, I allowed that to overwhelm me with a temptation to begin to eat again in some old, bad, and very negative ways. The consequence is I gained back most of the weight that I had lost, and ultimately my blood pressure has gone back up, my blood sugar has gone back up, my cholesterol has gone back up, and everything is a mess. So now I'm in a position where it is time to get serious about this thing, not just for the sake of losing some weight or changing some numbers, but for the sake of getting healthy and getting fit in a lifestyle that I can live with for the rest of my life, and hopefully that'll be a very long time. So what I'm doing is I am making some incremental changes that will ultimately end in a drastically different type of eating habit and type of lifestyle. I'm going back to implementing my running program and my exercise program, and I fully intend to reach my goals this time and to maintain them. At one point, I went to my doctor and weighed in, and I had always knew in my mind that I was overweight, but I'd always thought, there's a certain number that I never want to reach. And I went into the doctor one day and I saw that I had reached exactly that number in poundage. And what that meant for me was that from that point, I needed to lose 110 pounds to get down to where I should be as far as my optimal weight is concerned. Now, I'm not quite back up to that number again, but where I am right now, I need to lose 90 pounds to get down to that optimal weight of where I would really, really like to be. I need to bring my blood sugar down. I need to bring my cholesterol down as I go along the way. And so that is what I am about. And that's what I'm going to be doing over the course of the next weeks and months and years. And I'm starting this channel for two reasons. First, I'm starting it because I need help. I need the accountability of knowing that there are people out there who are listening and who I am just going to choose to be gut level honest about. And I'm going to tell you about my successes on this channel. I'm going to tell you about my failures. I'm going to tell you about the things that I'm doing and the things that work and the things that don't. And as I do that, I want to be able to be accountable because I am posting these things and I know people will be watching. But I also want to help you because I know that this struggle is real. I know that losing weight is difficult, and the more weight you have to lose and the more sedentary you've become, the more difficult it can be. I also know from personal experiences that there are a lot of other emotional things that can fit into and contribute to this problem of struggling with our weight. Things like depression, low self-esteem, suffering from anxiety, and a number of other emotional issues that can feed into this. And so I want your help as I am striving to be accountable for what I'm doing, but I also want to help you. So I'm going to share with you along the way some tips, some things that I do that I find really work well for me. I'm going to share with you some technology that I use in my exercise program. I'm going to talk to you about running, and I know that running isn't for everyone, but everyone needs to be involved in some exercise of some sort to get your body active and healthy. And so I'm going to talk to you about what I'm learning for those of you who might be interested in running or might have been runners in the past and want to pick that up again. And hopefully that'll encourage you in whatever exercise program you would choose to use to help you get healthy and fit. I'm also going to share with you some food thoughts and ideas, things that work well for me, things that don't work well for me. I'm not pushing or promoting a particular diet. In fact, I'm honestly discouraging a lot of fad diets because a lot of times those, A, don't lead us to become healthy, and B, they're easy to get on and then get off, and then we gain the weight back. And honestly, that roller coaster up and down with our weight is one of the worst things that we can do for our body. So I'm not necessarily pushing a particular diet program, but I am going to be talking to you a lot about eating healthy and about what we need to put in our bodies to keep them healthy and what we need to not put on in our bodies in order to keep them healthy as well. So I'm going to bring you a vlog each week. And in those vlogs, I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to tell you how I'm doing. I'm going to share with you some of those tips, some of those techniques, some of those technologies. And I also want to hear from you. I want to know how you're doing. And let's encourage each other together. I hope that you will tune in on Thursdays. I hope that you'll join in the discussion in the comment section down below. And I hope that we can work together as we take this journey together. Check out the description down below. You'll find some interesting links down there. And take a moment to subscribe and click the little bell icon so you can catch these future vlogs and we can journey together. Well, I hope you have a happy and healthy week, and I will see you next time.